Alrighty, so rifle season here in Indiana is creeping up on us, and I've got to go ahead and get some rounds loaded up. Now, I did a couple videos earlier this year, kind of working up a couple of different loads for my 6mm ARC to try to use this year. Now, what I'm going to end up loading up today and what we're going to use in rifle season is the 95 grain Berger VLD hunting bullet. I've never used any of Berger's bullets hunting, so we're going to go ahead and give that a try this year. I was between this and the 103 ELDX, and I think the 103 ELDX is probably a better bullet for hunting, but we're going to use the Berger 95 grain and see how it does this year. Obviously, we're going to use Varget, and we ended up working up a load at 27.9 grains at 2.280 cartridge overall length, and that's what we're going to use today. Obviously, we're going to use our BR4 primers and our Hornady. This is 4 times fired brass. It is converted 6.5 Grendel brass. So that brass is already resized and annealed and cleaned, so it is ready to deburr, chamfer, prime, and get ready to load. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start out with that, and you'll see the process here. Now, it's super duper windy today. I actually should be out bow hunting right now, but the wind's blowing like 40 mile an hour, and I don't want to get a tree on top of my head while I'm 20 feet up in the air, so that's why we're sitting here reloading, making a YouTube video. All right, so as you can see here, in my ammo box, I've got 11 pieces of 6 ARC that hasn't been fired yet in this 4th time. So what we're going to do is go ahead and give them a light deburr and chamfer. Most of you guys have seen this before on the channel. Going to load these hunting loads up just how I normally do. Give them a tap and go ahead and move on and do these other 10. Now in Indiana, you're only allowed to have 5 rounds with you at all times. So this is perfect, because I'm probably going to go ahead and go shoot a 3-shot group, double check velocity again, make sure that I'm zeroed, and then that'll give me a couple extras if we end up shooting a doe or an antler deer this year. Now, I've actually not used the 6 ARC for hunting. A couple years ago, I shot a deer with the 6.5 Grendel, and that performed really well, so I'm guessing the 6 ARC will do the same. More than likely, we'll keep the yardage to like 300 yards and in, but more than likely, it'll probably be something like a 100 or 150 yard shot. So really, we don't need a big magnum like 6.5 PRC or anything like that. I thought about taking the 6 GT out this year, but thought the Savage and the XRS chassis might be a little bit more comfortable to carry when it's a little cold, being that that chassis has some plastic on it. It's not so cold on your hands. All right, so as you can see, we went ahead and got all those deburred and chamfered. Now we're ready to prime these. All right, so we're going to continue to use our Lee hand priming tool. Seems to work pretty well. And that's going to be, what, 10 primers? I really need one more, don't I? So these Hornady cases have 4 firings on them now, and the primer pockets are a little loose, but they're not terrible. Not worried about them too much yet. Actually, that one there was incredibly loose. I think we might actually toss that one. The rest of those felt pretty good. So 2 of those there felt very loose. So if we do end up using those, we won't use them during hunting season. All we need is powder to fall out all over the place whenever we're loading these up. We're standing in the tree stand. The rest of them felt pretty good. Honestly, like I said, those 2 pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and toss them. They felt super duper light. See if we can give you an idea of how loose there. So this is a universal decapping tool, and if you notice that, I'm able to just push that primer in by hand. Let's see if we can get it to focus there. Right, so that piece of brass is toast. The rest of them felt okay, but obviously that one's toast. So we're going to, actually we're gonna go bring that one over. I use these as kind of some test cases to go ahead and get my annealing machine set up to anneal brass. We'll go ahead and toss that back with the annealer. And this was the other one that was pretty loose. This one wasn't as bad as the first one, but let's check that one. Yeah, still I can decap that by hand. So that's, in my opinion, that's ready to be tossed too. So I guess we really only have, what, 9 rounds that we need to load up. But that should be plenty. Again, we're only allowed to hold 5 with us whenever we're hunting anyway. So we'll toss those 2. And this was the other one that felt a little bit looser than the other. So I'm going to mark that, and we'll probably use that as one of our ciders. So that still leaves us with 8 good rounds that we're going to go ahead and load up. All right, so our scale has been warming up for about 30 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and zero that scale. Now, I don't calibrate this scale every time I use it. I just measured the weight of the pan, and it always pretty much weighs the same thing, and I just roll with that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hand weigh these out today because we're only loading 9 of them. Really shouldn't be too big of a deal. And let's just go ahead and load those up. I'll probably fast forward trying to weigh them out so you guys don't have to watch that process. And what did we go for? 27.9, right? Oh, way overshot it there. 27.8. Couple more kernels there. And 27.9. And we'll just double check that one there. And 27.9. And we'll dump that one. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process 9 times, and then I'll see at bullet seating. All right, last step before seating these bullets is double checking, and I always visually check to make sure the powder is all even in all of them. Now, don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the case fill in there. Let's see if I can just barely see it there. We are just about going to be a full case. These are probably going to be just slightly compressed or just a full case, as you can tell there. All right, so I do not have this die set up. It is just screwed down into the press. Don't know where these are going to seat. We're shooting for 2.28. So let's see if we are close here. Oh, I think we need to come way out. So oftentimes what I'll do is just start really long. And we'll double check our length here. And of course, I seated that one too short, 2.2, basically 2.27. So obviously that one's too short. So we need to back out about 10 thousandths. Okay, let's try that. Seat another one here. Okay, we're just a bit long, 2.290, which is where I'd like to be. And now we will go ahead and dial it down. And we should be just about perfect. And now we are, right? 2.281. So I'm going to go ahead and seat the rest of these. All right, so that's the last one I seated there. As you can see, there's a bit of variation because we are measuring from the base to the tip of the bullet. And because these are a hollow point, there is a little bit of variation. But that should do. We're going to go ahead, and I've got to wait a day or two before this wind dies down, and we'll go ahead and shoot a couple sighters, and then we'll be ready for hunting season. Alrighty, so I've got them all loaded up here. As you can see, all 6 of them there. These should end up being at about 2,770 feet per second, which should give us about 1,000 foot-pounds of energy out to about 300 yards, which should be perfect for our purpose. So stay tuned. If things work out in deer season, we'll probably make a video of it, and we'll also show if we can recover this bullet from a deer and see how well it holds together, see what kind of damage it does and things like that. So stay tuned for this fall, and hope you guys enjoyed the reloading video today. We'll see you next time.